What really matters on social media? Is it the number of followers that you have? Is it the amount of people who engage with your content and hit that like button? While all of that is important, that is not what ultimately matters. Your end goal is likely to make more sales, to be able to make more money, right? Even people who are content creators who are really on social media to create content, they're still there to earn an income and to make money. So in this video, I'm going to teach you the 3 things that really actually do matter on social media that you need to be strategizing for, so that you can actually get the likes, the follows, the comments, and all the shares and all of that, so that you can grow your brand and actually make money. I'm Amber McDuffie, and I'm actually a full-time content creator, a social media marketer. So the 3 things that really matter is that people recognize you. One of the fastest ways to do that is to have something that is similar in every piece of content. What is recognizable? There's 2 kind of easy ways to do that. One is to have your face. Your face is recognizable. It's unique enough that if they see it over and over again, they can name you, they can say who you are, and you start to become someone that they trust just a little bit more, because now they're like, that is familiar. People trust what is familiar, and they're more likely to actually do business with you because they know now that you're likely not a scam. One example of this is, just think of Progressive, right? So you know Flo. Every time you see a commercial, you know it's Progressive because Flo is in it. So if she ever in life decides to do something else, we will still say, hey, that's Flo from Progressive. That brand is still going to come to mind. A second way that you can do this is to have a similar color in all of your content. So if you're posting anything with text, even if your face is in the content, but maybe you have a headline or some other type of text, see if you can have brand colors to show up, so as soon as they see that particular reel or that text content, it's very clear of who that is likely from. It just continues to build that familiarity. On Instagram, let's say they watch one of your reels and they loved it. It was really good. The next time they see a reel by you, they are more likely to watch it if they recognize it's already created by someone that they liked the content for beforehand. You get to benefit from that when you're the content creator. In sales and marketing, sometimes it can take 5 to 7 touch points for a customer to decide to actually make a purchase from you. So just because they saw your content once, just because they heard your sales pitch once, that does not mean that they are ready to buy. They still want to actually understand a little bit more about you and get to trust you more. So when you create reels on a consistent basis and it gets back in front of some of those same exact people, then you have more of a likelihood of selling them something, even if they don't yet follow you. That people actually know what you do when they recognize you. That means you have to consistently not just tell people what you do, but actually help them in your category. So that kind of has a twofold effect. Not only are you now providing value, right, and giving them something that they actually want and need, but they're also learning more about, oh, okay, this person is the go-to if I actually want help in this area. So what is ideal is to create content around commonly asked questions, right? So let's say you're a dentist, okay, and people, often come and visit your dental office, and they have questions about the proper way to floss because they're constantly getting feedback about, hey, do you floss? And they're like, well, yeah, I do, but apparently it's not working. So maybe you need to do a demonstration. Maybe you need to actually show them. And that is great for video content creation. Let's say you create a reel. You can make it fun. It doesn't even have to just be straight up tutorial. You can do it with the trending sounds so that when they see the content, they're entertained, they're learning something, that they've been wondering about anyway. So they're going to stop on the content and they're actually learning it from you, someone that they want to continue to recognize and see, so that when they are ready to book that dental appointment, who might they think of but you? Don't be afraid to give away some of your knowledge for free, especially the commonly asked questions. That's what's going to draw people in, because they're going to feel like, I want to get more from them. And that's how you kind of earn the follow. You can even earn a share in that regard, because they're like, wow, this is really important information and helpful. I would like to share this with other people who I think would find this helpful as well. I have also created a video just on what your content strategy should be, what you should actually put in your content, how to find out what those commonly asked questions are. What is it that people in your industry, in your niche, are commonly looking for and searching for, and would actually stop on your content to find out from you. So you can just watch this video here if you want to find out more about that. The final piece is to make sure that people actually know what you sell, so that when they are ready to buy, they know who to get it from. Remember how I said it could take 5 to 7 touch points for someone to feel comfortable enough with your brand to spend money with you, especially if you do any business online, right? Because they want to know, is this a trustworthy source? If I put in my credit card information, is it safe? Once they get to know you, once you're recognized, you need to nurture that relationship. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do that. On Instagram specifically, your stories is a great place to do that. And it doesn't matter if you're a highly professional office-based business or if you are an entrepreneur and content creator that works from home. There is something to be said about having that human connection and using social media to be social and to actually show them a little bit of your authentic and real side. So even if you're in an office, maybe you don't show them your home life per se, but you might show them behind the scenes of how, the people in the office might get along. What are some things that you guys do for fun? Was there an office party, a holiday party, or something that you all do to really celebrate one another and get to know each other and just basically show them a real side of you? So the stories is also a great place where you can sell, because anyone who's going through and actually watching your stories, somewhat thoroughly, those are the people who are going to be the most familiar with you and feel like there's a trusting connection. So in your stories, you can now put a link. So anytime that you might be promoting a product, promoting a service, advertising some type of launch, the stories is where that clickable link is going to be in Instagram. Yes, you have a link in your bio, but you cannot and should not rely on that. A lot of the times the link in the bio has several different links in it. And when people have to go through and figure out which link it is and then navigate several pages down some rabbit hole, they might actually give up before they get there. And I've seen this mistake, right? I've seen people in the comments on a really well done reel and said, hey, I would like to purchase that jacket that you're advertising. Where do I find it? And I see the person who owns, that business to say, yeah, the link is in my bio. I'm like, cringe. Make it easy for them to get. If the link is in your bio, I hope that link says, the jacket. It's so easy to reply and say, hey, I just put the link in my stories. Or let's say that reel is old. You can always do story highlights and point them to and say, hey, go to the story highlights that is titled blank, right? And maybe even tell them it's the 4th card in, the 4th story in, so that they have very clear directions on how to get to that very specific item quickly. One other way that you can create this sense of community is to, start conversations. And a good place to do that is going to be in the comments section. Start to build a community where they're not just replying to you, but maybe replying to other people. And it might be like a funny clip or a funny reel. And I'll go down in the comments just to see everyone else's reactions, and someone might say something that was very similar to how I felt, and I'll go in and reply to that person. So when you start to build that community, people come back to that because they feel like, oh, this is kind of a fun place to be, right? Sure, I'll come back and make sure I check in on that content. Now they're feeling comfortable enough to reach out to you, and then you direct them to where that actual link is. Don't make them search for it. I've searched for items myself, stuff that people were advertising, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't, I'm giving up. It's over. It's not meant to be, okay? So we have to have a strategy that focuses on those 3 things, and then the likes, follows, comments, all of that will come along. But even if you have just a small following, if those 3 things are in place, you will see an increase in your sales.